Most people don't realize it, but John is the only gospel without parables. That detail isn't random. It reveals a divine pattern written not only into scripture, but into your very neurobiology. The gospels don't just tell a story. They mirror the structure of the human psyche subconscious, stirred by parables, consciousness awakened by proclamations, and the body transformed in union with Christ. Matthew, Mark, and Luke give us parables because parables function like seeds. The Greek word parabole literally means to throw alongside. They are truths wrapped in story, dropped in the soil of the hearer. And Jesus even said that's the point. To you it has been given to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given. A parable isn't meant to be obvious. It conceals and reveals at the same time. From a psychological lens, this makes perfect sense. Stories work like dreams. They bypass the analytical prefrontal cortex and slip into the subconscious. They light up the limbic system, the seat of memory, imagination, and emotion. A parable lands not as information, but as transformation. It can sit dormant for years like a seed and then suddenly break open when the soil is ready. That's why Jesus could say, with many such parables, he spoke the word to them as they were able to hear it. The same story will strike differently depending on the readiness of the soul. But John doesn't use parables at all. His gospel came later, and it's written in a totally different key. Instead of scattering seed, his pages are filled with the I am statements. I am the bread of life. I am the door. I am the vine. This isn't dream logic. This is mystical proclamation. John doesn't send us searching for meaning and story. He declares meaning directly, revealing Christ as Logos. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And here's where psychology and neuroscience meet scripture. Parables in the synoptics refer to the subconscious. They work like seeds planted in the imagination, bypassing defenses, confronting the shadow, and inviting the soul to wrestle in hidden places. Identity, John, is the consciousness. The I am statements activate awareness. In neuroscience, the prefrontal cortex is the seat of decision-making and self-recognition. John speaks here, piercing the consciousness mind with truth. And then there's embodiment, which is Paul and beyond. It's the union. The rest of the New Testament shows us what it looks like when those seeds blossom into action, when conscious identity becomes embodied reality. Christ in you, the hope of glory. So, rather than contradiction, the differences between the Gospels actually protect Christ consciousness from reduction. If all four said the same thing the same way, Christ would become one-dimensional. But the Spirit knew we needed multiple angles. Matthew, grounding Jesus in Torah. Mark, speaking to endurance under persecution. Luke, highlighting compassion and universality. John, opening the cosmic view. Together, they form a prism, one light refracted into many colors. Humanity. And in terms of psychology, that prism maps into the soul itself. The subconscious must be tilled, parables. The consciousness must be awakened, John. And embodiment must be lived, the letters. That's the full arc. shadow confronted, self unveiled, spirit made tangible. So, yes, the Gospels aren't just 4 accounts of one story. They are 4 movements in the symphony of transformation, a pattern for the psyche, a revelation for the soul, and ultimately a pathway into the wholeness of Christ. Be loved and be loved, beloved.